So, it's kind of funny. I keep telling myself that I want to try to make a video that isn't always so focused on Nintendo. It's so common for me in the content that I talk about, which makes sense because they're my favorite company. It's the most interesting to me, and it's definitely the most interesting, I think, to you, the majority of my audience. But you know me, and I still love the PlayStation and Xbox brands, and PC gaming's great. I enjoy all of these things, and I play them on a regular basis. So sometimes I want to still try to cover more of what's going on with Sony or Microsoft and just in the general video game industry and in the video game world. And it's like there's just never news that's interesting enough to talk about, man. It's always coming from Nintendo. And probably my Nintendo bias is stepping in there a little bit, but what are you going to do? I'm totally fine with it. And what we're talking about today is still more Nintendo related stuff. I want to have a conversation about Amiibo and what's been going on with them this last year and where they might be going soon. So of course, 2 years ago when Amiibo hit the scene, it was freaking insane. Everyone could not get them fast enough. People couldn't find the ones that they wanted. They were super rare. They were selling like crazy. And that lasted for a long time. I think they're pretty great. I have a collection of about 14 or 15 or so. Haven't bought any in a while. I only own the Smash Brothers Lines one, plus the one that came with Twilight Princess, the Midna and Wolf Link Amiibo. So that's a non-Smash one, and that means I did actually get that one in March of this year, but it wasn't like an Amiibo purchase. It was just an Amiibo that came with a game I picked up. So, they were the real hot business for that first year, and over the course of the last year, they're still important, they're still valuable. I think Nintendo's paying attention to them, people still like to collect them and purchase them, but obviously that initial craze has subsided, and now we just live in a world where Nintendo had that new hot thing a couple of years ago, and it's just kind of, we don't really know where it's going. And that's kind of what I wanted to discuss. I think it's definitely an interesting time for Amiibo, mostly because it's an interesting time for Nintendo, obviously. I mean, as evidenced by the video that I made yesterday and what just everyone is talking about in the gaming and Nintendo fan world right now is, the Wii U is obviously dead or dying. There's not a lot of games to play from Nintendo specifically. There's tons of rumors about the NX. When will the NX be revealed, and will it stick to its March 2017 release date? So we're in the middle of this weird Nintendo lull where they're doing almost nothing, yet the internet cannot stop talking about them. It's so insane. And again, I'm feeding right into that. I love talking about them, which is why most of my videos are about them. So in this lull of production from Nintendo, one of the things that I think people should maybe be focusing on a little bit more is Amiibo. Are Amiibo going to still be important to Nintendo going forward, like they have been these last couple of years? I would have to think yes, absolutely, because I think that Nintendo saw how massively successful something like Amiibo can be. And like I said, I like the Amiibo. I think that there's a lot of potential there, great potential even. So I think that it would be great for them to continue doing stuff with Amiibo. I actually don't want it to go away. But the real question is it important to Nintendo's business model going forward and stepping into their new next generation machine and whatever the NX turns out to be? Will that be part of their business model? I want to think so because of that success. But the real question is, what are they going to do with them now that the fervor and like the gaming and the gamer and fan need to have them has kind of died? Does Nintendo have a plan to kind of bring them back into the forefront to make them important? Are they going to have some really valuable additional qualities that they can add to whatever the NX and the My Nintendo gaming experience is going to be? The answer could be no, but I just feel like it's yes. I feel like Nintendo is too smart to let that go, and I think that there's still a lot of room to capitalize on what the Amiibo are and what they've done and how it's captured people's imagination, and they're like, oh, I just want to pick up these figures and all these different things, I think that what's really happened in this lull is that Nintendo, in not focusing on doing a lot, period, right now, has also stopped pushing Amiibo. And if you think about it, when Nintendo were pushing Amiibo, when they were bringing them out on a fairly regular basis, when they were showing off new ones with every Nintendo Direct every few months, it was kind of keeping Amiibo in our thoughts and in our minds and at the forefront of what Nintendo was doing and talking about. And that's what it makes it something that people want to just run out and buy. They haven't been doing really Nintendo Directs. They haven't been talking about new news. E3 came and went, and it was pretty much the Zelda show. So we do know that the Wolf Link Amiibo adds something to Zelda, which is great, but it's not like selling new Amiibo to people. So I feel like what's going to start to happen when we start getting ready for the NX to launch, and maybe even before the NX launches, Nintendo might start to, hopefully, push Amiibo again. And obviously that means they're going to have to come out with probably new Amiibo. I know that Smash fans have been waiting for the Bayonetta and the Cloud Amiibo. I myself am waiting for those as well. I think that those look great. I don't know if Ryu came out. You guys tell me below if Ryu was released. I think he was. But as far as the third-party ones, those are the ones that I can think of. You know, and I think Nintendo just needs to, at that time when the NX is getting ready to launch, show us new Amiibo that they're bringing out for specific games. You know, I guess in kind of going backwards a little bit, part of what has to happen is Amiibo need to be compatible with the NX. So because the NX is this big mystery, it's hard to talk about and gauge, but that's definitely one of the things that's necessary is the NX and whatever the handheld is, or if they continue the 3DS, they need to have things that actually are compatible with Amiibo. And I'm pretty sure that that's going to be the case, you guys. Because they want to capitalize on how successful Amiibo have been. So they need to have new Amiibo coming out around the time of the NX. They need to, some of the first launch games that they show us for the NX, with any luck, those have Amiibo functionality. So there's a reason for Nintendo to have new Amiibo for new, brand new specific games. How freaking cool would that be? Also, I think what's really going to kind of push the Amiibo thing forward is if Nintendo announces, kind of building off of the new games for the NX, if they announce what I think they're secretly working on for some time in the future, the real kind of motherlode of the Amiibo experience, they need to bring out that core integral Amiibo game. Something like a Disney Infinity or the Skylanders kind of thing. I think Nintendo has some sort of game or property or idea in the works, whether it's building off of something we already know or whether it's something brand new where they can sell Amiibo just for this game. It's what I think they tried to do and very half-assedly pushed out in the Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, because that's a series that really could lend itself to a bunch of different little collectible figures. And they tried to create a game experience within that series that says, hey, buy a bunch of these because it's going to add to this board game kind of thing they're doing. And I do think that on paper, the idea of Amiibo Festival was actually great. I know you guys are going to want to freaking crucify me for saying that. But I know the game didn't turn out to be well, and it shouldn't have been the Animal Crossing game we got at that time. But I think if you just look at the concept on paper, there's something there. And I think Nintendo's known that for a long time, and I think that they have been working on some sort of Nintendo Universe thing or some brand new IP or some sort of mixture of IPs that we already know that's going to be this huge epic experience where you want to buy a bunch of different Amiibos specific to this game, and it's going to be that Skylanders or Disney Infinity kind of Nintendo related Amiibo experience. And I think that if they do the right thing, that looks great for all gamers, maybe not just like young kids or a specific niche audience like an Amiibo Festival. That would be freaking great, man. And it would give us maybe new Amiibo for characters that we know and love, like Samus and Mario and Link and all this stuff, or maybe brand new ones, or maybe you can wrap the Splatoon characters in there and get some of those kind of going again on the Amiibo side. I think there's a lot of cool potential there, you know, and I think it's just, it's going to be interesting to see. Amiibo have been so important. I think they're great. I want to see their full potential really realized. We've had a couple of games that do neat things with them as far as their functionality. I mean, of course, just beyond the collectability of, hey, these figures are cool. I'm talking about actual gameplay implementation that makes a difference, but doesn't feel like it's screwing over gamers who want to complain about, it's just a $13 paywall, which is stupid to me, but whatever. Nintendo needs to find that balance, and I think that they can do it, and I think it's time to do it. I mean, if they come out with an NX that looks really great and everyone's excited for their next machine and everyone's going to buy it like crazy and there's some really great games to get people excited. Imagine if Amiibo are coupled in that conversation of all these great new products that are launching in the first half of 2017 from Nintendo that everyone wants to buy in droves and in mass numbers. That would be great. Not only because the products would be great and it would get us excited as gamers and Nintendo fans, but it would probably mean a lot more success for Nintendo. And if you're a fan of Nintendo, then we all know that's a good thing. So those are just kind of some of my quick thoughts on Amiibo, where they've been this, last year or so, and if it's time for Nintendo to kind of come back and strike again with a brand new push for Amiibo, make them successful again, make a bunch of money, create some great new Amiibo that make us excited to own, and just kind of do something there. I think it's important, and it'll be interesting to see. Maybe they don't do anything. Maybe Amiibo are just kind of meant to be slowly phased out, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel right for me, man. They've made too much money off of them already. Why not continue that push with a brand new next-generation console? So tell me what you guys think. Do you agree with my theories on what they might be doing going forward with the NX and Amiibo? Do you think that they're phasing out? Do you like Amiibo? Do you hate them? What do you guys have to say about this topic? Thanks, of course, as always, for tuning in, guys. And this is Rob of Rule 2 Review. I'll catch you next time on another video.